The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. As Jesus drew near to Jerusalem, he saw the city and wept over it, saying, "If this day you only knew what makes for peace, but now it is hidden from your eyes. For the days are coming upon you when your enemies will raise a palisade against you and will encircle you and hem you in on all sides. They will smash you to the ground and your children within you, and they will not leave one stone upon another within you, because you did not recognize the time of your visitation." The Gospel of the Lord. One of the greater dangers in the spiritual life is complacency. To just be, I'm good, complacent, I'm a good enough spot, and to not be kind of on guard, ready. And we get that, we can fall into that easily. But I think even is every year we come, to this time of hearing about our Lord's second coming. That's a theme that's going on right now in our readings. And it can be easy to be like, I've heard that before. It hasn't happened yet. It's probably not going to happen in my lifetime. I'll just kind of stay in the rut I'm in, just fine. And that's dangerous. That's a dangerous place to be, because our Lord is going to come. He's going to come in one way or another in our lives, whether it's the end of our life or it is second coming. It's not necessarily something to be fearful for, just to be ready when he comes. So the deal is, like our Lord, he's approaching Jerusalem in our gospel, and he's like, man, if only you knew the day that makes for peace. Or if you only knew what makes for peace, but now is hidden from your eyes. Okay, so, take the Israelite people, the Jewish people. They were waiting for a Messiah for thousands of years. And they probably at the time of Jesus, they were probably just complacent. Oh yeah, we've seen other prophets arisen, not a big deal. Messiah's not coming. And they didn't recognize him. Okay, and Jesus wept over that reality. And then he prophesies about the actual destruction of Jerusalem that would happen in 70 A.D. Okay, so we can be that kind of same place if we don't just catch ourselves and shake us up a little bit. That our Lord has come, but he promises to come again. And the deal is, we don't have to wait for that day as some unknown day. It's now. The visitation is now. Okay, you think of, what's that look like? You think of what do we think of when we say visitation? We think of Mary going and visiting Elizabeth, and Elizabeth recognized the presence of Christ within her, and she rejoiced because she saw that presence within Mary. Okay, another Elizabeth of Hungary, who we celebrate today, also recognized the presence of Christ in the other. Okay, she served the poor as if they were Christ himself. Okay, our Lord himself says, "Whatsoever you do to the least of my brothers, you do unto me." That's one way of being on our toes now, ready always, receiving the presence of God now, so that we're not caught off guard when he actually comes at the end of time or at the end of our lives. That's one way. I think the other is just living in that reality. Christ's presence is everywhere. Definitely in our brothers and sisters, in ourselves, the Eucharist, things like that. But he's also pervaded creation. All things were created through him. All were created for him. So his presence is there. It's just a matter of opening our eyes up in faith and receiving it. Okay, but that takes that shaking out of complacency, this is just how I do it. No, be aware, be on our toes. That's where we can encounter the Lord. So it's always a good time of year to just, where am I at? Just kind of shake ourselves up a little bit, not out of fear, out of awareness, to be on our toes and to receive our Lord in his various forms when he comes to him. The Eucharist for sure, it's objective. Each other, awesome. Creation in general, receiving God's presence, beautiful. So maybe we just have that openness and faith to receive our Lord in every way, shape, and form.